From 11:59 p.m. on the 13th of September, we will have to extend. We'll have to extend out for 2 weeks the current stage 4 restrictions that Victorians are living under. This is for Metro Melbourne. I'll do regional Victoria in just one moment. So we have to extend. We cannot open up at this time. If we were, then we would lose control very, very quickly. And again, Alan will speak to that in more detail. So, however, there are some changes to that 2-week extension of stage 4. Let me run through those now. So from next Sunday, the curfew will be eased and it will be expanded to 9 p.m, not 8 p.m, in recognition that the days are getting longer. That is a small step, but one that we can safely take. Exercise will be increased to 2 hours per day, up from the 1 hour per day. Social bubbles to accommodate those who live on their own, in direct response to feedback we've had from those who have been isolated away from anyone else for a long period of time. We will create those social bubbles so that, much like the way intimate partner arrangements work now, singles, those who live alone, will be able to partner up with somebody else and they'll be able to visit each other. The 5-kilometre rule will not apply, but the curfew will. So it is essentially extending those arrangements for partners who don't live in the same household to those who live on their own. Public outdoor gatherings of 2 people will be allowed, or a household, for up to 2 hours, not the 1 hour of exercise. So it's exercise and or spending time outside, whether it be visiting the park, so on and so forth. And playgrounds will reopen. That is for the 2-week period until the 28th of September. That's the first step. The second step, from the 28th of September, subject to public health advice and subject to the average daily cases being between 30 and 50 at that point, 14 days before, public gatherings increase to up to 5 people from 2 households. Schools, there will be a staged return of school for prep, grade 1, grade 2, VCE and VCAL, as well as specialist schools for term 4. Some senior students will be back from the 5th of October for their GAP test, but from the 12th, the following week, we will have prep, grade 1, grade 2, year 11 and 12 and year 10s for the purposes of their VCAL or VCE studies back, as well as specialist schools. Childcare reopens, more workplaces open. In fact, around 101,000 workers who are currently unable to attend work will be able to attend work in a number of different industries, and you have a breakdown of those different industries, and the way in which we have arrived at those industries being able to resume is a very difficult set of judgments that weigh up the public health risk and the economic benefit. We believe we've struck a balance. It is not a perfect balance. There is no such thing. And I know there will be some industries who are disappointed that they're not on that list, but whenever you draw a line, there will always be different groups on either side of it. We can't, again, as I've said a number of times and will continue to say for weeks and months to come, this has got to be done in a safe and steady way. And that is a significant number of people who are not at work now, they're not permitted to be at work, who will be able to return. It is not everyone, but it is what is safe, it is what is sustainable. Outdoor pools will reopen, personal training for up to 2 people per trainer will be allowed. Outdoor religious gatherings of up to 5 people plus 1 faith leader will be allowed. These are examples and some features of each of these steps. The third step, from the 26th of October, again subject to public health advice, and if the daily average of cases over the previous 14 days is less than 5 new cases, the curfew will no longer apply. Leaving home, there will be no restrictions on reasons or distances travelled. Public gatherings will increase to 10 people outdoors. You'll be able to have visitors at home, up to 5 visitors from another nominated household. So much like the singles bubble, there will be a household bubble, you and another home, provided there is your household plus no more than 5 visitors. Schools, by that stage, we'll have more to say in relation to grades 3 to year 10. Retail and hairdressing will reopen. Hospitality will recommence, predominantly outdoor seated service, but we will have more to say about that following further consultation and, again, the numbers as they present. Sport, there will be a staged return of outdoor non-contact adult sport, and that is, I think, a reasonable representation of that step. The last step from 23 November, again subject to public health advice and case thresholds that Brett can speak to in a moment, public health gatherings of up to 50 people outdoors, public gatherings, I should say, of up to 50 people outdoors, visitors to your home, up to 20 visitors at a time. Retail, all of retail will be open. Hospitality, there will be indoor groups with a limit of 20 people for seated service, a cap of 50 patrons more broadly. Real estate will open with a series of safety measures, further easing of restrictions on sport, particularly community sport. Weddings, funerals, they go to 50 people. And then the COVID normal, after those steady steps have been taken, a COVID normal will see most restrictions dropped, subject to different safety conditions and a phased return to on-site work for those who have been working at home. Essentially, each of these steps are, of course, less than we would like to do. We would all like to open up as quickly as possible. We would all like to find that COVID normal, or indeed go back to actual normal, as soon as possible. But that is not the nature of this virus. It is wicked in many ways. It spreads silently and it spreads rapidly. And if we look at the experience in Colac over just the last few days, one case has led to 24 people in just a few days in one town experiencing this virus. If anyone listening or watching right now needed any further evidence, and I don't think many people do because they've been living this and they see it around the world as well. One person, one case, less than a week in one country town, 24 people have got this virus. It does spread like fire. And until we put this out, until we contain this properly, we cannot open up, because if we did that, we wouldn't be opening up at all. We would simply be beginning a third wave, one that will do even more damage than this pandemic has already done. I want to get the place open and I want to keep it open. And unless this is done safely and steadily, that simply won't happen.